I saw Usher, Justin, Will, his son, LeBron. Well, I can tell you he has secret tunnels. Okay, you see JC, he's worse than Diddy.
We've all heard about the A-list celebrities who have been involved in Diddy's parties over the past few months. But do you know who was actually behind the scenes helping Diddy, even though the FBI is investigating and Diddy is in jail, even how Diddy lured others into his trap so he could control them? All of this will be in today's video. Get ready to hear some shocking details that you've never heard before. Some of the names mentioned will leave you stunned. In the second part of a highly anticipated interview, shocking details about Diddy's notorious parties are once again in the spotlight. This interview follows the one from 2018, when Jonathan was arrested, but this time the conversation dives deeper into the wild rumors that have been circulating online. Just to be clear, everything shared is based on hearsay, though one day it could become gospel truth. It's simply a reaction to the jaw-dropping stories that have been making the rounds. Diddy's parties were legendary, known for their extravagant guest lists, packed with A-list celebrities and powerful CEOs. But it wasn't just the star-studded attendees that made these events infamous. Reports claimed the atmosphere was thick with drugs, and the wild behavior was on full display. What really caught people's attention, however, were the rumors surrounding Diddy and his inner circle. Even at those parties, it was said they had a habit of sharing not just women, but men as well. One of the most shocking tales, word has it, that Trey Songz was spotted locking lips with Diddy at one of these lavish bashes. But it doesn't stop there. The story goes that after the kiss, the person who witnessed it was invited to Diddy's private room, where they found Trey sitting on Diddy's lap, making out. The wildest part, the invitation was then extended to the onlooker to join them. It's almost impossible to believe, but rumors surrounding Diddy's legendary parties continue to swirl, creating a buzz that's hard to ignore. Whether these stories hold any truth or not, they've certainly added another layer to Diddy's already scandalous reputation. One particularly shocking aspect of these parties is the mystery surrounding the number of high-profile CEOs who attended. Even more startling is the fact that several of them resigned from their position shortly after Diddy's arrest. This coincidence has raised eyebrows, prompting questions about the nature of these gatherings and what might have transpired behind closed doors. While many partygoers didn't initially realize they were being filmed, it became increasingly evident as the night went on that Diddy, along with others, often recorded the events on their iPhones, and many attendees followed suit, ensuring that it was impossible to miss the action unfolding this issue. A filming became even more significant during Lil Rod's lawsuit last year, where he claimed that Diddy forced him to record everything on his phone. In the court proceedings, investigators revealed that they had confiscated 96 electronic devices and discovered 8 hard drives containing 90 terabyte of data. For comparison, a typical MacBook Pro only has 1 terabyte of storage, meaning Diddy's data was 90 times larger than that of an average computer. Cassie's lawsuit brought even more shocking details to light, claiming that Diddy filmed everything at his parties using phones. As for the celebrities who allegedly attended, Lil Rod named US Usher and Justin has been well documented. The mention of Will Smith and LeBron James was a surprising twist. These revelations have only added to the intrigue, especially since several people connected to Diddy, like Kevin Hart, have kept quiet about the parties from the beginning. When asked about his involvement, Kevin seemed genuinely confused, which only deepened the mystery. Did these legendary parties have always had a cloud of secrecy hanging over them? But Kevin Hart has just dropped a huge hint. He told a story about a time when Ken hosted for Diddy, and when someone asked, "Did you see any baby oil?" Kevin's response was startling. "You're asking the wrong person the wrong question." That comment left the room in stunned silence, leaving everyone wondering what really happens at these parties that makes them so off-limits. Little Rod, who's been to more than a few of these parties, described the scene as one full of secrecy. He said it felt like everyone was watching a performance, with a circle forming around a central event, like a private show. Some guests even took turns adding to the odd controlled atmosphere, but what really stood out was Diddy's strict rule about who could stay. Not everyone was welcome to stick around for the after-party. In fact, only those who passed a certain test were allowed to remain. D-Bab, who managed to stay after most were kicked out, confirmed how exclusive these parties really were. He was one of about 15 people who made the cut, and among the few who stayed were Jay-Z and Beyoncé. The idea of a secret hand-picked guest list isn't just surprising, it's shocking. It's one thing to be invited to a party, but to be part of that exclusive group that stays behind with the biggest stars, that's a whole different level. What makes all of this even more shocking is Diddy's knack for making people feel like they're the most important person in the room, like they're his best friend. Rappers and keep them on his side. It's all about control for him. He reels them in with extravagant parties and showers them with luxury gifts, making them feel special. I'll never forget hearing about the time he casually gave French Montana $1 million, just because he even calls him his guardian angels. Creating this intimate, almost cult-like bond with those he keeps close. The connection between Diddy and French Montana is pretty wild. Did he not only sign French to a deal, but also created a special crock flavor for him? French Vanilla, he handed French $1 million and helped take his career to the next level. But not everyone is a fan of their relationship. Have you ever heard a song with just French Montana? He typically appears on songs that feature 2 or 3 other prominent artists, and he only has about 40 seconds of vocal time. This has led to accusations that French Montana is relying on the names of other artists to attract listeners rather than creating a unique and distinctive musical style of his own. Despite this, there is no denying that French Montana has worked hard to achieve his current success. However, he has always longed to be recognized as a true artist, to stand among the ranks of famous music artists. According to rumors, Diddy has a unique way of making things work. Putting someone on a track with a major artist nearly guarantees a hit song. This was certainly the case for French Montana, who enjoyed numerous opportunities to collaborate with big names. While often partying alongside Diddy, the perks of being in Diddy's inner circle were evident. But things began to change. When French Montana distanced himself, the hits slowed down, and despite once being called Diddy's best friend, French Montana hasn't uttered a word about him since their paths diverged. Diddy's life, it seems, is constantly under surveillance. Everything he does is captured on film, even moments spent in his private jet. This gives him a unique form of control, using footage to manipulate or blackmail those who might consider defying him. One individual who experienced this firsthand shared their experience of being taken under Diddy's wing. According to this person, Diddy was nothing short of a protector, but his influence was undeniable. A particularly memorable moment came during a mandatory trip to Vegas, where saying no to Diddy was simply not an option, underscoring the kind of power he holds over those close to him. The rumors about Diddy's influence don't stop there. When comedian Russell Brand found himself on Diddy's jet, he quickly discovered just how intense things could get. It's said that Diddy's motto is, "What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas." The reality of his version of a good trip is far from ordinary, according to those who've been close to him. The trip isn't a success unless someone ends up in the hospital. That alone gives a glimpse into just how intense things can get when you're around him. Many people who've crossed paths with Diddy, like Meek Mill and Mace, have found themselves in a similar situation, stuck on a jet with him, unable to say no to his demands. He has this bizarre habit of buying clothes for everyone that matches. And it's not just about fashion, it's about control. It's part of why he throws those massive white parties where every single detail is about making sure people follow his lead. The more research was done, the more it started to make sense. It could be just coincidence, but those who hang around Diddy, like French Montana, end up with the same look, the same style. But things got even weirder when one person who spent a lot of time with him started noticing strange behavior. Diddy would say things like, "I'll take you shopping," but it didn't feel like a casual offer. It was unsettling, almost as if it were something you'd say to a woman you're attracted to, not another guy. Then came the real shocker. He has a thing for putting men in a headlock, like something out of a UFC fight at first. No one really got it. What was that supposed to mean? But the more pictures surfaced, the clearer it became. Over and over again, there he was, physically locking people in headlocks, like a twisted way of asserting control. It wasn't just a physical move. It was all about humility, Itisha. A way to make people feel small, and hoping to pretend that if we were wrong, we might make you feel better. Under his thumb, this behavior only added to the growing whispers within the entertainment world about Diddy's influence. Rumors have long suggested that he holds the keys to success in the industry, able to elevate anyone who aligns with him to new heights of fame and fortune. Those who play by his rules, attending his parties and collaborating on projects, their careers often soar. But once they fade from his orbit, they seem to vanish from the public eye. With their hits no longer topping the charts, it's as if they were erased the moment they stopped being part of his world. People who've attended Diddy's parties in cities like Miami and Los Angeles often share strange and unsettling stories about what happens behind closed doors. These private events, filled with secrecy, are said to feature hidden tunnels, concealed rooms, and whispers of Illuminati meetings taking place in the background. The sense of exclusivity is palpable, and many claim that these gatherings are more than just social events. They're the setting for something much darker. One of the most talked about aspects of these parties are the so-called humiliation rituals. These mysterious rites are allegedly used to initiate new celebrities into Diddy's inner circle. According to some who've spoken out, these rituals are designed to break down artists emotionally, making them more vulnerable to victimizing systems, easier to control. The idea is that by wearing down an artist's sense of self, it becomes much simpler for powerful executives to manipulate them into signing bad deals, securing long-term control over their careers. It's a lot like the hazing rituals you hear about in college fraternities, where a person has to go through a series of grueling challenges just to earn their place in the group in the music world. It's no different. Many claim that to move up the ladder, artists are forced to endure humiliating experiences as a sort of initiation, and saying no, that's nearly impossible because the labels and executives hold so much power over them. Sometimes even going so far as to drug and record everything without consent. Then there are the even darker rumors, ones that suggest the manipulation extends beyond the public eye and into Diddy's private world. Some claim that his mansion is home to secret underground tunnels, allegedly connecting to mysterious locations like the Playboy Mansion. While these stories remain unproven, they only serve to intensify the belief among some that there's a hidden controlling force at play within the industry, one that operates from the shadows, unnoticed by the public. One anonymous source, who claims to have visited the mansion, shared a chilling account of their experience. They described being led from room to room, eventually finding themselves alone in an unfamiliar area. The deeper you go, the harder it is to get out. The source recounted regouting of these tunnels. Would as the whispers surrounding Jaden's exit grow, so do the rumors about Will Smith's off-camera behavior, which contrasts sharply with the warm, approachable persona he projects to the world for years.